What's going on, guys? Walking Dead is lumbering back into your television sets this weekend. Are you excited for it, or do you think the show deserves a spike in the brain? We have two sides here to debate. Is Walking Dead a worthwhile program still? First, on the pro side, you know them from Good Mythical Morning and so many YouTube videos. Rhett and Link.
Glad to win this debate.
And the anti-Walking Dead side. First, he is a man of how many voices?
1 kajillion.
1 kajillion voices. Brock Baker. He's the excellent director and editor of our program and Honest Trailers, Dan Murrell. Walking Dead, it's coming back. You guys kind of pumped for it?
I'm a little behind.
Well,
Whoa, wait a
he's
minute.
on a
the
Netflix
pro
schedule.
Side
He's on a Netflix schedule. You can't hold that against the man.
Listen, it's a testimony to the strength of the show that I don't even have to be up to the end of it to know how great it is.
Or is it a testimony to your fandom that you don't like it that much?
He has me.
Will you guys be watching Walking Dead when it returns this weekend?
Not the week by week. I don't know. That's a little unbearable. Like watching on Netflix, not as bad because you can. If there's a bad episode, just watch the next one.
The characters, do we care about them? Do you care about these people anymore?
I do care about them, and I think the beautiful thing about the structure of the show is that when there's a character who you don't care about or has become annoying, which happens on a regular basis, there's always the hope that they will be murdered.
And you can hate watch. You can hate watch those characters.
That keeps you going.
Do you remember how annoying of a character Shane was? He was killed twice, as a human and as a zombie. That is so satisfying.
Do you guys care about
My
these characters?
argument is the exact opposite. I don't care about the characters for that exact reason, because there's no reason to get invested in any of them because they're just going to kill them off randomly whenever they decide to.
Okay, so what do we think about the writing? They've had numerous showrunners. Has the show consistent?
No. This show was doomed the day that they got rid of Frank Darabont.
Agreed.
It wasn't the zombie splatter show that AMC wanted, and they got rid of him.
I think we have to establish some context here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if somebody comes to town and they're like, I want to eat at a fine restaurant, I say, okay, I'm going to recommend an actual fine restaurant. I'm going to recommend Breaking Bad. I'm going to
Mad Men.
I'm going to recommend high quality, perfect television. But if they come into town and they're like, where can I get a hot dog? I got a couple of hot dog places I'm going to recommend. Walking Dead is the hot dog of television. You can't expect too much from it. You can't compare it to actual
it's made
high
out of
tier.
pig anuses, basically.
Exactly.
Hooves and snouts.
But you love that pig anus.
So how do you guys feel about these zombie attacks? Is like, oh my God, can we think of a new way to do this? Or
I mean, they do get a little tedious after a while. It's like, how many times can the same scene basically happen?
My wife, if I told her, hey,
My wife.
you're gonna watch something like Walking Dead, she would be, like, never in her life does she want to see any of that blood or gore.
Right.
But it's a gateway drug for people like my wife. She's sitting there looking at humans smush other humans' heads in like rotten pumpkins.
Yeah.
And she's into it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good gateway drug for that much harder stuff. Now you and your wife watch snuff films together.
It's now a possibility.
Yeah, totally.
You're on the road to that.
The show also is about the dynamics between people and who they run into on the road. Is the show more about that? And
And those murders are more satisfying.
Yeah.
Because that's an actual human being killed. It prepares all of us emotionally for what's going to happen when the zombie apocalypse actually comes. I mean, I would have so much emotions tied to me offing Link when he turns, but now the moment he turns, he's going out. He's out.
You won't. When you have to murder Link, you won't even blink. Rhett.
Not at all.
What do you mean when?
I've been so
Why am I going
desensitized.
I think a big problem of the show is that
Yes.
the seasons are too long. If the seasons were 10 episodes, it might be a solid show, but there's just there's too little story, too much time.
What's the ratio of awesome episode to throwaway episode?
It's about a 4-to-1 ratio. 4 slow episodes. I'm going to say bad, but 4 slow episodes to every one.
Or it could be an accurate simulation of what the apocalypse is really going to feel like. Oh, man, I know there's zombies lurking. I got 4 episodes of just trying to survive. I'm a little bored, and now it's hitting the fan!
It's a a teaching tool, guys. You can't just engineer something for your perfect entertainment purposes. This has got to fit into the context of your life and your marriage. I don't know if you guys are married or not, but when you get married, the highlight becomes sitting down and watching television with your wife.
Binge watching.
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
The key to us liking the show is to get married.
Yes! I really think it changes everything, guys.
So, Dan, I want to ask, you said the show is like inherently flawed.
Yes.
Just the format of it.
Yes.
Because in the comic books are kind of engineered to just go on forever. TV shows, not built the same way. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Well, they're following the comic book format, and they acknowledge that they're following the comic book format in that there is no end game. And basically, I'll tell you how the show works. Bad stuff happens. They go on the road. They think they find someplace good. It turns out to be bad, and it just goes like that.
Some might say if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
The best movies in the world are not the ones that are just chock full of plot points and action, right? That's a Michael Bay movie, and nobody's making that argument, right?
No.
So for me, it did just take a recent upswing. I'm re-interested. The Farm was a difficult season, but now it's like, wow, what is this place, man? They're going to Terminus. They're at Terminus, by the way. Spoiler alert. It's not called up. But they're gonna get there, and at the end, they're gonna be inside of a train car locked up.
That sounds great.
I will say, speaking of people dying, if Daryl dies, I'm out.
Any show that can make you say that about them and with that haircut is a powerful show.
Tell me, what do you two want, besides a shorter season, what do you two want to see ideally in the next season?
Less Rick saying Carl.
I'd like to see some indication of, I think that's the Walking Dead's biggest problem. In
The endless journey.
The endless journey, and also, I think this show is unendable. I don't think there's any way to end this show.
Does that matter?
Yeah, I don't want it to end, but I do want it to progress. I do want to move from just survival to some sort of solution, even if it's a bad one, and then I'm disappointed. You know, getting a little more progress on the scientific front.
Compelling points from each side, but let's make our closing statements. I'm going to ask each of you to speak as if you're talking to someone who's never seen, maybe even never heard of the show. Why should they avoid it, or why should they watch it? Someone who has been asleep for 5 years, like Rick, or maybe an Amish person, okay? So let's start with the anti-side.
Do you like the same plot lines over and over again with the same archetypes over and over again? Tune in to The Walking Dead. It never ends.
I think that should be on the poster. The Walking Dead, it never ends.
It never ends.
Rhett and Link.
If you want to experience the zombie apocalypse the way it's supposed to be experienced, this is the show to watch. I mean, it opens up a whole world that you start, even, granted, things get drug out. How long are they going to have the flu? How long are they going to be on this farm? You know what? Just go with it. You will start to feel like you were in the zombie apocalypse.
That's the motto. The Walking Dead. Just go with it.
Feel the apocalypse.
So are you going to just go with it and feel the apocalypse? Or are you going to avoid this never-ending journey? Let us know in the comments section below. The best answer, we're going to send you a DVD or Blu-ray of Season 1 of Rick and Morty. Really funny show, courtesy of our friends at Adult Swim. I want to thank our awesome panel, Rhett and Link. Check them out on YouTube if you're not already. Funny stuff. Brock Baker, check him out on YouTube. Thanks for being here. And Dan Murrell, I see that guy all the time. I'm Hal Rudnick. Thank you for watching. Hit me up on Twitter. Bye-bye. Oh, one more thing. Do you guys want more Screen Junkies? Too bad. We're giving it to you anyway. Starting this Sunday, check out our new show, Screen Junkies Movie Fights. You can find it right here or find it on iTunes. Awesome debates, good friends, sweet times. We are partnering with Movie Talk Nation, the home of the schmoes. You know them. So, in the words of the great Ken Watanabe,
let them fight.
Most comic book fans would agree that the Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno show was one of the best superhero shows ever. Most of the time.